wrestling buddies want to be your buddies.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
You got me mad now.
You know, a wise woman once said, every day is a winding road, and the road that we happen to be on this week is leading towards the extreme, which means this edition of the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast is the...
Go home! That's your home! Are you too good for your home?
That's right, it's the Extreme Rules Go Home Slamcast, y'all, which means we have plenty of stuff in store. We have an interview with Kevin Owens. We had a sit-down hangout session with him at WrestleMania Radio Row, and he's entertaining to say the least. He's in a huge match this weekend, Fatal 4-Way, for the Intercontinental Championship. So we got to get going because we don't got that much time.
Just look at your watch.
You got it, Coach Backlund. Let's get right into it. We are at WrestlingBuds on Twitter. We are Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. Find me on Twitter at JQuasto. The man in studio with me right now, he is the host of Curtain Jerks. He's the host of 16 Bits. And he's got a very peculiar, inquisitive look on his face right now. I'm not quite sure why, but first things first, you got to find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you have to listen to his song. He's Scott Narver.
Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver. Curtain jerk compadres, always there to save the day. Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver.
So a wise woman once said that?
Yeah. Every day is a winding road.
Oh, I wonder if that's the same wise woman who sang my song. Jillian Hall.
No, Sheryl Crow.
Oh, is that her real name? I don't like to know the real names, Johnny. I like the wrestling names.
Wait, Jillian Hall is Sheryl Crow the same person?
I would assume so, because she's a wise woman, because she made that great song. She has a lot of range. She's a baritone.
Wait, Jillian Hall sang your song?
Jillian Hall sang my song.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've not heard a song from her in years.
It's been a while, but you know, sometimes they just rest on their hits.
Wow. She's got a lot more
Every
talent.
day is a winding road.
Yeah,
and
it really
sometimes
is.
the boogeyman eats your mole.
And sometimes you get a little bit closer. And he's here today too.
Good.
Which is great. He's
I
always
hope-
around.
If you have a mole, Johnny, he'll eat it.
Well, I mean, look, I don't want him getting anywhere near me. Okay? Yeah, he might be around, but I don't want him to know he's around.
If they made a WWE movie about a mole on the inside and the boogeyman sought him out and ate him,
Yeah.
I'd watch that movie.
I think that's a pretty good movie. That would,
so.
Even if it went straight to DVD, I'd be all over it.
That's what they do. That's what they do best.
Let's do it. Let's bring in, from Washington, D.C., he is a travel writer. He is the host of Dishing on Movies. Find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale. You know he's always vest for business because he's Dale Rutledge.
I got a puppet.
I got a puppy?
Bad news.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Yo, how you doing, bro?
Hey, man.
Hey, yo.
What's happening?
You know, I'm on the 2-week countdown till my huge worldwide tour. I'm heading out to Revolution Pro in like 2 weeks. Kurt Angle versus Zack Sabre Jr. I'm just getting psyched. I can't wait, and then I head out to Japan. I'm just ready. Let's get today going because I'm ready for tomorrow already.
Hey, well, you're also going to some events in Japan, am I right?
Yeah, I'm going to New Japan. Their pay-per-view, and it's the same day, actually, as Money in the Bank.
Okay.
So it is quite the day for pay-per-views.
But here's my question. With the time differential, though, will you be able to... Will they actually be at the same time?
No. I mean, technically, it's like a day ahead, right? It's like future time travel kind of business.
You've been there more than I have.
Same dates, but not the same time. So think about that, because I haven't.
You know what that means?
We got work to do.
Yeah, man, you're going to be busy.
Are you going to Hawaii?
No Hawaii, Narver.
Well, they have this show coming up with Nakamura and Cena and all that.
Hawaii.
They sure do.
I can't do every show in the world. I can't do much at all today because I dropped my keys down the elevator shaft in my apartment.
Oh, dude, that's always my biggest fear when well, besides someone with a knife. But, I mean, being in an elevator and dropping keys down the elevator shaft is the worst.
Johnny, keys are
It
a
happens.
knife.
It's a true story. I had no idea. Just some little kid, like, brushed by me as we were both getting in the elevator, and they just slowly tumbled into oblivion.
That might have been the recently receased Hornswoggle or El Torito.
Well, it might be.
Did you see the Hornswoggle T-shirts? King of Short Style, I think they're saying. It's on Pro Wrestling Tees. It really made me laugh.
Wonderful.
funny.
Wonderful.
Could have been horny though. Could have been all swoggle.
So, question: how you getting the keys? I mean, do you have to? Maybe your neighbor can help with the keys.
Oh, you think he's down there?
I don't know. How are you gonna get the keys? You got to get the help from someone, right?
My neighbor might be able to make a really long coat hanger work out or something. I'm not sure. We should ask him.
So you need some sort of heavy-duty gloves to climb on down? You're like John McClane.
Yeah. Are we going to die hard, Dale?
Oh, I need my computer.
I've got a lot of latex at my house if you need any gloves.
Yeah. Are you allergic to it? I got sheepskin gloves. Would that help?
Yeah, I got goat skin, I got sheepskin, I got cat skin.
Yeah. All types of skins, really.
I got Alan Rickman's skin. It was very hard to come by.
Yeah, and I got George Hamilton. You know, he's very tan.
It's very tan. It's durable.
Yeah, they're all out my back porch. They're drying out. So what about your keys? Okay.
He has a lot going on for him, that's for sure.
Well, good luck getting your keys, dude.
Oh, man, they're never coming back. There's no good luck. It's just goodbye.
I mean, I think collectively.
Yeah. Ron Simmons sends out his most sincere damn.
He does. He sends his best and his worst at the same time.
He's a regular old Hallmark card maker, that Ron Simmons.
He sure is. That's a Hallmark card I would buy all day. Chuck Rice is not with us today, but make sure you follow him on Twitter at CRice17.
He's a man.
All right, guys, I got to say this. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, we had a fantastic taping this past weekend. Following up, the Coastline Clash has now aired, and now we're moving along. We had a lot of really good stuff. Scorpio Sky was in his first match in almost a year, which was really fun.
Did he have an injury?
Oh.
No, well, he after the Red Carpet Rumble, when he was unsuccessful in his attempt for the Heritage title, he took some time off, did a couple more MMA fights, and decided, is it going to be one or the other, or is he going to keep trying to do both? And he realized, I don't want to spread myself thin. Championship Wrestling is where I want to be, and so he came back, had his first match.
Nice.
And it's shaping up to be a very interesting summer with Championship Wrestling. So if you don't have the Fight TV app at this point, you hear us yapping about it, you hear JR yapping about it, you need to get it. FITE is the app. It is free. We get nothing for you downloading it. We just love it because you can see all types of combat sports, you can see all types of wrestling, and you can watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every single week. So you need to get it.
Yeah, the Friendship Connection.
And the Friendship Express.
The Express.
Well, you
keep messing that up.
They're not going to get mad at
I keep muppeting it, you know.
We're going to have them both in the show at the same time.
Oh, yes, please.
That'll be very, very fun. And, of course, T-shirts, ProWrestling.com. I'm sorry, ProWrestlingTees.com. You can probably go to ProWrestling.com, see if they have.
Sure. Don't download anything from that site.
Probably not.
Super sketchy.
A lot of fishing. But we're ProWrestlingTees.com/Wrestling Compadres. You can see all the cool designs there from our boy Peter Morris and our boy Clement W. And get a shirt for yourself. Other than that, what else we got?
I was going to say YouTube.com/OnYourMarkShow.
Yes.
The preview is out of all the interviews at WrestleCon, but now one has dropped. Billy Gunn.
Oh, boy.
Marquee Extreme Skeeter Skyflyer meet Billy Gunn. Doesn't go well.
Oh, tell us about it.
It's, the things get a little, Marquee Extreme, if you guys have never seen the show, Marquee Extreme, world's greatest backyard wrestler, undefeated 15-year champ, thinks he's on the same level as Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn is not having it.
No.
Yeah.
Was Road Dogg in it, too?
Road Dogg was not in it, no.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, they have a bit of a tete-a-tete. Some people say it's really funny, you know. I don't know if I see it. I think it's serious journalism, but...
I mean, the question is Skeeter Skyflyer, does he get intimidated by the badass Billy Gunn? I would be.
Well, he questions whether or not he has a great ass from the ass man.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're going to talk, look, if you're going to talk about asses to anybody,
he's an ass man.
I think the ass man. Dale, don't you think that'd be the ass man to talk to?
Is there a better ass pro? I don't think so.
No. I don't think so. If there were an ass Hall of Fame,
yeah,
he'd be the only one.
He'd be the statue out front as you're walking in. Therefore, you wouldn't really have to go into the Hall of Fame.
And as you walk through, you're
right, because he's an ass man.
I don't think you're allowed to say asshole.
That's what enemies of Scott Hall call him.
All right, let's get the band in here. Yes, it is time for the Slamcast news.
Just look at your watch.
Bad news to start off, gang, and this just dropped over the last 24 hours or so. Apparently, Emma had an injury over the weekend, and yeah, sucks.
I hate it.
Did she drop her keys down the elevator shaft?
No, Dale's neighbor. No, this is a different kind of injury. It's not with the keys.
Very serious if you fall.
I know. Is he ever going to learn about wrestling, Dale's neighbor? I don't think he is.
I don't think he's out of tune to it, to be honest with you.
No, he doesn't understand what's going
But
on.
this is super bad news. I mean, this couldn't have been a hotter time for Emma. This is just the worst.
I know.
Yeah, she was just getting going. Character, everything was on fire.
She was just getting her diesel, if you will, and Dana Brooke, like her bodyguard almost. And unfortunately, from what I understand, I think it might be a lumbar disc, and they say it's going to require surgery. And my estimation would be that she's getting a discectomy, which basically means when
A vasectomy?
not a vasectomy, a discectomy.
Oh, okay. I was worried she was getting a vasectomy. I'm like, those doctors are morons.
Yeah, that would be a bad decision. Very bad decision.
No kids for Zack Ryder is what we're saying, right? That's just to be clear.
I guess so.
So what is a disc?
Okay, so you know how how you have your spine.
No, but okay.
You have a very long spine, Scott.
All right. I think mine's made of jelly, but all right.
Well, there is probably some jelly in there. Maybe a fruit by the foot somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, that's in between your vertebra. You have fruit by the foots.
Keeps it safe. Got it.
And delicious. So yeah,
Don't want fruit gushers in there. That's
no,
bad.
gushers, bad news. A lot of leaking.
Yeah.
A lot of leaking. So in between the vertebra, you have the discs there, and they provide, impact and protection for your spinal cord. As we age, those shrink, and that's why you see people shrink as they get older. That's why you get stenosis. That's why you get low back pain. Unfortunately, sometimes when you have, depending on if you're lifting something heavy or like what Emma was doing, maybe depending on what move she did in the ring, or it could be something as simple as the way she moved at a wrong angle. Sometimes one of those discs can rupture or leak to where you get a herniation, which means depending on how big the herniation is, it goes out and actually it touches one of the nerve roots, or it could even hit the spinal cord, which would cause a lot of pain down your leg, a lot of pain in your back, tingling, numbness. And so if it requires surgery, to me that says that the herniation was big enough to where the pain must have been brutal. Because when you first herniate a disc, the pain is almost intolerable sometimes, depending on how bad it is. So what they go in, they get rid of all that extra disc that is causing the problem.
Sure.
And then
you got to remove the bubble tape.
They move the bubble tape, and they kind of patch it up. On the bright side, they get rid of the problem that's hitting the spinal cord or hitting the nerve root. The bummer is the disc is not what it used to be. So she has to be extra careful, and it's hard when you're a pro wrestler. But she has to be more cognizant of the fact that level is not going to be as strong. So she has to hope that the rest of her spine will be able to stay healthy.
Man.
So
what's
This does not sound like good news, Johnny.
No, I mean, it's never good news when you have a herniation and need surgery. Now, hopefully, it's just one level. You got to remember, you have 5 levels of your lumbar spine.
It's like an elevator.
It's like an elevator.
Oh my god.
So depending on what level it is, some are better or worse to have happen. Your L5S1 is always the worst one to have done because that takes the brunt of your weight. But I don't know what level it was. Hopefully it's just one level and the herniation's not bad and they don't have to do much. But at the same time, when it is hitting the nerve root or spinal cord, sometimes you really have no choice. You can go the conservative approach, do PT, do decompression. But apparently they think that it was big enough of a disc to where they think it's going to need surgery.
Yikes.
So do you think that they knew that this was happening when they brought Dana Brooke up last week? Like, do you think this is something that happened and so they were like, okay, quick, let's get Dana up here and she can kind of take this feud and move along with it? Or do you think it's just happenstance that she got moved up and then Emma got hurt and they were able to shift the feud over to her?
No, I think it literally happened over the weekend. Because the thing is, with a disc herniation, if it's bad enough to require surgery, in all likelihood, she would be unable to perform or even walk correctly. So that's the kind of thing.
Okay.
It's almost like an emergency. So it's not the kind of injury like, okay, you have a shoulder injury, you're going to have to get something done. It probably happened, and they were like, "Oh, damn it, we have to do something about this." So, I think it did happen over the last couple of days.
You know, she didn't walk correctly in the first place. Do you remember how she used to come out with the bubbles and what she did with her hands and all that?
It's very true.
She could have had back problems forever.
I don't know.
That was a way of compensating.
But it is a damn shame because we sing her praises every single week about how fantastic she's been. But it's just a little bump in the road. A couple of months, she'll be back. I mean, the rehab for it, it's depending if it's just one level. 3 months, it's probably she can be back 100%. She'll be up and moving, the day after surgery, of course. So we'll see.
Hey, if she does the John Cena style, she'll be back in 2 days.
I guess it's good that Dana was at least there to kind of pick up the pieces and at least kind of benefit from this in a way that wouldn't have happened had they not brought her up. So
very much so.
I'm just trying to find a good side to a horrible situation.
It is. I mean, luckily, she's the good thing about WWE is they have all the best at their disposal. You look at how Seth Rollins and how John Cena recover from injuries. Everything they need, they have. And so, obviously, she's going to do the best she can, and I'm sure they're going to have an amazing surgeon take care of it. And so we hope she's back as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
So, let's see, moving on here. Cedric Alexander is leaving Ring of Honor after 5 years. I said it's a mutual parting. That dude is a hell of an athlete.
Yeah, I wonder where he might go, huh?
It makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Global cruiserweight, perhaps?
Yeah, Global Force Wrestling. That's right, Johnny.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking, Scott.
They're just getting everybody there is, Johnny.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yep, that's their slogan. Drink it in, man.
GFW. Mm-hmm.
Hold your bladder.
It's on fire right now. That's what's happening.
Is it a thing still?
I don't know.
I'm really...
Depending on who you ask. If you ask Jared, you better believe he'll tell you it's happening.
It's coming. It's coming, you guys.
It's around.
Get your guitar.
Yep. Get your tickets.
It's Cedric Alexander's coming.
Oh, boy.
Matter of negotiation for Global Force Wrestling.
Yeah. But, I mean, wherever Cedric goes, he's going to get a lot of bookings. The question is, maybe he will take part in that tournament. He'd be a hell of an addition. Whew.
Yeah, the tournament's almost full.
Go ahead, Dale.
I don't think that he would have had to leave his contract to join the Cruiserweight Global Series, though. I don't think... I'm not completely sure. I mean, they're being very lenient with that. So I think this is... I mean, that could be a benefit, maybe. I mean, maybe that's something that he's able to do time-wise because he left, but I would be surprised if that's why he left.
Well, I know Ring of Honor actually does exclusive contracts, though, whereas Evolve, you can kind of do what you want, and everyone else can do what they want. So you're probably right, but there could be a bit of an issue. Or maybe he just decided it was time to move on. Who knows?
Yeah.
Also, John Cena remarked on Twitter about Seth Rollins' recovery, basically saying how amazing it is. He said, I came back ahead of time, but just wait until you see how Seth Rollins looks. Rumor mill is that, we could be expecting him back on television within the next month. I still don't think he's going to do anything in the ring for quite some time, but just having him back on television, I'm very excited to see how he comes back and in what facet and how it's going to play into what's currently happening.
I assume he's going to be
Go
for it, Dale.
Go ahead, Scott.
No.
Go, Dale.
I was just going to say, I think that it's interesting. There's been some rumors about AJ Styles having a few nagging injuries. It made me wonder, timeline-wise, if, it's early, right? But is there a possibility of maybe a Rollins showing up at the pay-per-view to start a new storyline for Rollins Reigns, which is something that I think would lead into SummerSlam, obviously, quite nicely, and depending on how bad these injuries are with AJ, he's still able to perform, but it might be the scenario where Cesaro was at with his shoulder, where let me get through this program and move on. I don't know. I think Rollins could pop up sooner than we expect him.
I don't know, man. AJ is so much on fire right now, and what him and Reigns what they're doing is fantastic. I don't want to see this end, and knowing AJ and how long it took him to get here, I don't think he's going to allow any nagging injuries to stop him from cutting a storyline short.
It's true. These guys seem
I
hungry.
agree with you, but you can't really say that. I mean, the thing with injuries is you don't allow them to do anything. They take over.
True. They certainly can.
Yeah, I think when Rollins comes back, he's just going to be the most over guy. Everybody's going to love him. Everybody's going to be so excited to see him.
This is going to make people boo Reigns that much more. So I really... I don't know. I don't know what storyline you can really interject him to, because people are saying now, we're looking for Triple H and Shane. Well, initially, it would possibly maybe lead to Seth Rollins and Triple H at some point. He was using the pedigree, let's not forget, before he got hurt. So I just really hope they don't rush him back just to have him back. I want it to be a meaningful thing.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of potential storylines going on. I mean, he's never interacted with Shane yet. That could be a new thing where the authority isn't in place now, and so now he's dealing with Shane. There's all sorts of potential story greatness for Seth Rollins.
Plus, they don't have to rush too much anyways. We do have Cena looming, 2 weeks away? So, I mean, they can – I'm sure they'll want to give them both their own breathing room for a nice, happy, fun return. So maybe it won't be that soon. I don't know. I just want them to hurry up and get back in that ring.
No doubt. Yeah, we definitely want to have him back on TV. And there's a lot of compelling storylines right now, man. You add Seth Rollins back into the mix. We got a lot of good stuff going on.
A lot.
And speaking of good, everyone loves ESPN 30 for 30. If you've ever seen one, what's good about them is you don't even have to be a fan of sports to enjoy these. Well, they are doing a 30 for 30 about the XFL, y'all.
Yes. I went to a number of those games.
Oh, did you?
I was even at the championship game.
Where were they? Is it
the Coliseum?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
The LA Extreme, sir.
I was way back I was in college at the time, I think, in Pennsylvania, so I didn't even know. I know there were a handful of teams. I know the quarterback from my high school, who was a first-round draft bust of the Niners, was the quarterback of a team. I don't know. Do you remember who won the championship?
LA Extreme won.
Okay. Was Memphis a team?
Memphis Grizzlies? No,
it's basketball.
Yeah.
I know that the dude who was a first-round bust from my high school, he was a quarterback on one of those XFL teams. That was like his last shot at football, and he played well in it, but that was it.
So it wasn't He Hate Me.
No, Rod Smart. I remember that name. He signed with the Eagles after the XFL.
Get out of here.
He made the Eagles team for a little bit, I think.
Oh man, I did watch a lot of those games. I was into it. This was going to be the one window of, if you're going to get me to watch football, I will watch WWE's version of football.
I don't blame you. Dale, did you watch any?
I love it, Scott. I love it.
Did you?
I tried to get behind it, and I mean, I think arena football definitely has its merits, and I'm such a fucking fanboy that I'll at least give it a try. But I couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it fully.
Wasn't there a thing where the game started off with a mad scramble to see who got the ball 1st or something? That was hilarious.
There was that. There was no fair catches. There was Ventura trying to interview one of the coaches afterwards, and the coach wouldn't talk to him, and then Ventura going, "He's afraid of me."
Okay, so take me through. I'll be the coach. Take me through a Jesse Ventura interview with a coach.
What happened out there? Why didn't you win the game?
Well, there's Jesse the body. There's a lot of.
Why are you avoiding the questions?
I'm trying to answer the question. There's a lot of ins and outs. And
are you
a
part of the Illuminati?
No, I'm not part of the Illuminati. I'm just trying to coach a football team.
I'm talking to you now, so you owe me residuals for if they play this again later.
I don't get residuals. I don't even know where this is going to air on the network.
Answer me, Shivani.
My name's not Shivani.
He's afraid of me.
That's every Jesse.
I felt like I was really there on the sidelines, guys. That was great.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, it was crazy. I remember reading an article. Oh boy, I wish I could credit them with who wrote this. It was an interesting take on one of the reasons why football fans didn't take to the XFL right away, and it was in large part because the very first game, it was Vince McMahon out introducing it, which was like, okay, fine, it's your product. But then he had a video of The Rock talking about it on the very first game. Like, The Rock talked about XFL and was like cutting a wrestling promo on it. And to him, to football fans, like, that was the divide of like, oh no, it's one thing to have the owner come out and talk about your new sport, but you're bringing your wrestlers into it. And that made regular football fans go, no, I don't. Yeah. I'm not buying this. There's something wrong about this.
Look, it was a
but
ball.
He played football. I'm sure that's how the idea meeting went.
Warren Sapp actually took his spot after The Rock left Miami.
Oh.
Played the same position, yeah. I mean, it was a ballsy move, just like earlier when McMahon tried to start his own bodybuilding competition, and he had Gary Stridham.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool idea to play, and the winners got a bigger bonus, the $1 million championship game that was divided amongst the team.
Sure.
Like, there were a lot of cool ideas to it that I was interested in, and they had a great idea in having more football for the regular football fan in other times of the year.
Let me ask you a question. How many people would you guess were at the Coliseum for the championship?
Oh, for the final game?
Yeah.
It was a lot of people.
Really? Because Coliseum holds some people.
Yeah, I want to say it holds 80,000 or
It's pretty
something
damn
like that.
big. Were there that many? No way.
What is the Coliseum? What are we talking about?
The LA Coliseum.
It's where the USC Trojans play, and now where the LA Rams are going to play their first 2 or 3 seasons.
And it was where, I might get this wrong, I always confuse a couple of these. WrestleMania 7 or 8 was in Los Angeles, and it was supposed to be at the Coliseum. It was Hogan and Slaughter, and that was the one that they were going to break all attendance records. And ticket sales went in the dumper. And then they said, You know what? It sounds like Slaughter's getting so many death threats. That's not a secure building for us. So we're gonna go to this 20,000 seat arena instead.
Oh,
and
this
that's
is
why.
when he was Mr. Iraq.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So whatever WrestleMania that was, it was supposed to be in the Coliseum, thinking they were gonna just jam pack the place, and they didn't.
I think you're right. I think it was 7 or 8.
Yeah, I can't quite remember.
But yeah, and of course the Coliseum in Rome, where the lions were, that actual lions that would eat people.
Yeah,
that Coliseum. Well, this has been a hell of an edition of the Slamcast News. Thank you, Mouse Band. We'll check you later. I think they got scared. Yeah, they got scared when Jesse Ventura came in.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, so we got some fun stuff. We're going to talk a little WWE, NXT, Impact, Lucha, and then, of course, get to the Extreme Rules preview and predictions, and then the interview with Kevin Owens. Just chock full of goodness, y'all.
We survived the Kevin Owens interview. Can you believe it?
I know. We did it.
He's a tough guy.
Well, we're a bunch of pros. So tell us this, guys. How'd you feel when AJ Styles gave Roman Reigns a Styles Clash on the chair?
That was good build-up.
Woo!
That was good.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
It looked pretty gruesome. I mean, I think he took it in the chest more than the head, so I felt a little bit better about it. But I mean, the fact that it's one of these payoffs that we don't get very often, and then to stack it on top of a chair, which is this like really hard to predict element. I'm just like an old mother watching wrestling sometimes. I'm like, oh God, be careful. But it looked great. I thought it was executed well, and obviously he was okay. So I was very satisfied.
I just love how bitter it's getting. They both use a chair on each other. A lot of anger. I mean, Gallows and Anderson and the Usos hate each other. I was really impressed by the Usos. They actually pulled off the win.
Did you listen to the audio when they were hitting each other with chairs? They're yelling, "Word to your old mother."
Oh, is that what
they were talking about Dale.
I knew it. I thought that's what they said, but my volume was low.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't watch on mute anymore.
Yeah.
Mutiny? Who's talking about a mutiny?
I don't know. There's a bounty involved. No idea. Yeah, so
Mr. Christian.
The build-up is really, really excited for this Extreme Rules match.
It's the Bloodline and the Club. Somebody got a better name.
Yeah.
I will say, though, for a match that, we've seen variations of this match 3 or 4 times now, right? But this match was still fire. I thought that, the Usos were really the standout stars of this particular go-round, but it was still entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I'm really invested in Usos versus the Club. I mean, they've been bringing it, and looks like they're going to have a match at Extreme Rules.
Yeah. I like the fact that the Usos are not sitting on the sidelines and going, well, I guess if we just have a match, we have a match. They are trying to get involved in this as much as possible and earning that stable, basically.
Yeah. Actually, I'm wrong. There is no match right now, at least, between those two teams at Extreme Rules.
Is that right?
No. Yeah, I think there's only 6 matches, maybe 7 with the pre-show. I can't remember, but that one is not on there as of yet. Maybe SmackDown.
7 with the pre-show. Something else we need to talk about, definitely not part of Extreme Rules, but worth mentioning is we're trying to make Darren Young great again, and most importantly, you have to learn about a desktop.
You take your mail and you put it in the mailbox. You take the calendar and you put it up on the wall.
Yeah.
And you take the desktop and you put it on top of the desk.
See? Bet you didn't know that.
Oh, boy. See, last week, Johnny, I was with you on this one. I thought they were making this awkward on purpose. I thought that this was a thing they were striving to make, really. And I think it's written to be a little awkward, but
I love it.
I don't know, man. I'm a little more on Scott's side, unless he's changed his views. But this week kind of unswayed me from this particular
I loved it this week. You know what it reminded me of?
But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
See? Learning something.
And I would love it if it really got to that level, because Darren learns his lines pretty well and is quick to react, but Bob is reading that script, and I wish they would just go, Bob,
be you.
Say whatever you like to say.
Yeah.
And he could stutter it up all day long.
Well, it's quite possible they've done that, and they were like, yeah, I guess we can't use that.
I wish they would go, yeah, you know what? We should use that.
Yeah.
Because that's
I mean,
television.
that's the problem, is that Backlund is there to add more credibility to Darren Young and to make this. It really hinges on Backlund's performance, and as of right now, I agree. You can feel the acting, or you can feel the cue card, whatever you want to say, but he's kind of, I don't know, it's not helping the vibe out, and Darren is trying his darndest to make this work because it's ultimately his angle.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Backlund is really helping him so far.
I think people are going to get behind it because Backlund, everyone knows he's out of his mind. Everyone knows he's crazy. Everyone knows at 65 years old he's still in ridiculous shape. When people see how, when this leads to the ring eventually, I think people are so going to get behind this because today's fans, they want weird, they want strange, they want a guy who's not in on the joke. Backlund is not in on the joke.
But I just hope that it gets, fans embrace even more weird. They embraced the hell out of New Day once New Day, they were unleashed.
Yeah, kind of like Slater too.
Once they get that creative freedom to just I trust you, go. Mm-hmm. That'll be the time that they really embrace it. I mean, I loved on Raw because they did it on SmackDown. Obviously, they seem to show them there first, and then on Raw they played it again. And I love that they cut to Shane, and it got the McMahon endorsement because that's so huge for these types of segments. That Shane looks at and goes,
I agree.
Yeah,
and
make
it really
Darren
helps
great
with
again.
continuity too. I think you need more of that segue of hey, that just happened. I like when they actually acknowledge their own things. But I mean, to y'all's point, Backlund excels at crazy, and you can't script crazy. So maybe you're right. Maybe getting him to the ring and just letting him go is the way that this will pop off. But right now, it feels very canned and hollow on Backlund's side, and I hope they let it really live and breathe sooner than later.
I think it'll happen. I'm very excited to see it. And speaking of Shane and Steph, I'm digging them getting along. I'm really enjoying this. The chemistry they have, and the brother sister kind of sarcastic jokes back and forth. I love this.
And that is a credit to two very good performers who have a very long history with each other, being family.
Yep.
And allowing that to live and breathe on air and enjoying that. I hope that more and more people get that opportunity to have that, because like you're saying, it's fun. It's fun to watch them on there. It's fun to see two McMahons get along for now, because inevitably they probably won't.
No.
It's crazy to me that we haven't really seen this side. As many years as these two have been in front of the camera, we've never seen them in this sort of kind of teasing each other but playful. It's interesting that you could take something that is so old as two McMahons doing their thing on WWE Raw, but can make it feel fresh by just letting them, what feels to me, be more natural and be more how I would presume they are in their everyday lives.
Mm-hmm.
True. Very true. Moving on. Hey, guys, what the hell is an asylum match exactly? Does anyone...
It's got a lot of accessories on hooks. That's all I'm sure of.
Yeah.
There was a bucket.
There's a mop, there's a bucket, there's a straitjacket, there's a Barbie was up there, I believe. I mean, there's lots of weird things going on in this match.
According to Jericho, there's also a there's one of those.
There's always a stupid idiot when Jericho's involved, isn't there?
Did you enjoy the fact that Michael Cole and his ever-inflating weight of objects, Mitch weighed 20 pounds. Did you catch that?
No.
Yeah, Mitch weighed 20 pounds.
The plant?
Yeah, the potted plant of Mitch weighed 20 pounds that was cracked over Dean Ambrose's head.
I did not know that. That's a heavy plant, man.
He's lucky to survive, to be honest.
That's like those 150-pound stairs,
Yeah.
It's always
Just
with that
like
guy.
that, actually.
Everything weighs just so much.
So much more. But either way, the Asylum match will be something fun to see. We absolutely love what Jericho and Ambrose are doing. And also, guess what, everybody?
So come to Puerto Rico, the shining star of the Caribbean.
They're here. Yay.
That one note hit.
They're here, guys. Yay.
I was so sad for them because the crowd collectively took a shit on this entire segment.
At least they didn't
There's no
chant.
reason to care. I'm not saying it's the crowd's fault, by the way, P.S. I just felt bad for two guys who've been in the industry for, got to be close to a decade now of being in WWE directly.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have had, I think, have they had the most promos pre-coming out, if you combine this with their old gimmick, I mean, they must have had the most pre-coming to the ring time of anybody that I can think of. And the crowd just, I mean, they put them against two locals, which we haven't seen jobbers in 100 million years on Raw.
Yeah.
But there's just zero, nobody hated them, nobody loved them. There was just zero zilch nada out of the crowd for this match, and I just felt so bad.
It's because they're advertising a place. They're not advertising who they are. You know, like
it does feel like it's coming from the tourism board of Puerto Rico. I don't really understand what's happening.
Yeah. So, and then when they show up in the States, they go, "Come to the place that we're not at."
Yeah.
Why?
This ring is not Puerto Rico. What?
Yeah. What are we talking about here?
I mean,
are you allowed to get those hibiscus plants through customs?
Yeah, I don't know. I never traveled with hot biscuits.
There could be all kinds of insects on there that could just fuck up our...
Did you say hot biscuits? Can you travel with those?
Dale, are you eating dog biscuits because you lost your keys?
Do you put dog biscuits in the microwave?
I just made some sweet tea, and it's hibiscus flavor if you want to come over and try a taste of Puerto Rican.
Sweet. I don't know. Maybe there's a plan. I hope there is. If not, the only thing I can see saving this would be Carlito, and they feud with the New Day.
You know what I'm actually really surprised by with all this is that this didn't start and gestate in NXT. This is something that they've rebranded and redone and put it right on the main roster, and for something that's just a one-note thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't start there.
Johnny, I think you have a great idea. Carlito was one of my favorite wrestlers circa, 2003?
Yeah.
And I've always wanted him to come back. He obviously has the most character and the more interesting of the three, unfortunately, but I think, personal problems kind of kept him out there for a while. But man, that would be so awesome if they could do something like that. But I don't know what they want us to feel from this gimmick. They're like, hey, this place is awesome. You can't come here probably. I guess, is that why we're supposed to be mad? Like, I don't know. They're obviously heels, but I can't tell you exactly why I should hate them. So I agree with the crowd to kind of not care too much on this particular debut.
That's because you see the vignettes, you're like, okay, Puerto Rico looks nice.
Yeah. Like, we just had League of Nations. I don't know, like, what's going on?
And, Carlito, he's very funny. He's sarcastic. I know the last couple of years he started calling himself Body Guy Lito, like making fun of, like, how, you have to be a body guy in wrestling, so he calls himself the body guy. But, like, and I know there's been some issues in the past between him and the company, but if they want this to work, Carlito is the only one, is someone who can save it, and that way you have 3 versus 3. You have the Freebird style New Day versus them if they want to find more and more opponents for the New Day while they go on this hopefully historic tag team title run. But I don't know. Yeah.
It's very weird.
It just sucks to see them spend so much time, so much of our time, but so much of their... I mean, even the production on those vignettes, I mean, it was a lot overall. I mean, we're talking over a month of vignettes from those guys, and they were all similar but different vignettes. And for them to spend that much time and not think about, like, okay, how does this make you feel? Like, they're going to debut to no emotion. Like, surely someone must have seen these vignettes and be like, meh, I'm not feeling anything, guys. Can we have them, like, throw out some slang or throw out some trash? Can we have some kind of thing happen here? Like, what do we want to feel? But they played those things that long and never asked the question, how can we make this involve the audience more? And they saw exactly, they reaped what they sowed with those vignettes on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
I felt it was very similar to, like we're talking about, Carlito. His vignettes of old had the same feeling to me, where I'm like, so? And then same with that we got to relive on Monday night, Kofi Kingston's. Kofi Kingston's debut vignettes were just nothing. It was come spend a day in paradise. Like, okay.
I love that.
You're not going to anymore, right?
2009 was his best year, bro.
It was my best year.
Oh, my.
Why is it sticky?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so great to see all that with New Day.
And, and also, guys, we like I said, we may not see this at Extreme Rules, but we finally have ourselves some Golden Truth.
My butt would explode.
Yeah, that was great. And seeing them on SmackDown, like that whole culmination happening on SmackDown with the mixed, it's Breeze and Truth together, and then having then having Goldust and Fandango together, and R-Truth and Goldust won't fight each other. and then the other two beat the hell out of them, and Goldust goes to protect him and all that. Like, it was just, they gave this time.
They get it. Yeah.
And it's the crowd's wanting it, and they got a full segment on Raw, which was amazing.
And you get they're two vets, man. They're two guys in their 40s who know how to do things, and I think that you just trust them and let them go. You know.
I could not believe when, I think it was Michael Cole told us that it had been 5 months of them trying to become a thing.
No.
I have
Has
I couldn't remember the last time they let something have that much breathing room to actually like culminate. And I mean, it was an interesting payoff because they lost, and I actually kind of liked that personally. But the music video version of what the last 5 months have been for these two guys was so fantastic. Outside of no soundbite of, man, you got doo-doo on your foot. I wish that had been there. But otherwise, I thought that this is played out great, and I think that we'll be involved. To be honest with you, both tag teams. Like I like, I forget, what did they call them? Breeze Ongo, or what did they
I don't
say?
even know if they have a name.
They
but
do.
I mean, by the way, Dale, that may not be in the video, but it's on our show.
Oh, you got doo-doo on your foot.
So there you go.
Thank you, Johnny. I knew you'd have it.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I think it makes you care about both sets of tag teams, which is a surprise because honestly, Tyler Breeze, since he moved up to the main roster, I haven't really cared much about. And I mean, you know, Fandango stopped being a thing a while ago. So it's nice that they were able to prop up 2 new guys and have these two finally come together in this feud. And I thought it was just executed perfectly.
Absolutely.
Good on them. Good on everybody and involved in all of that.
Good on everybody for that. Now, with that said, we're going to move on to NXT, Impact, and Lucha, then get to the Extreme Rules preview. So, NXT, a lot going on, actually. They announced June 8th, TakeOver, I believe, is going to be at Full Sail, is going to be Finn Balor.
Yes.
Yeah, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. So this feud is not ending anytime soon. Still going.
Nor should it, Johnny. This
Right.
I just love these two in the ring together.
It's old school. It's classic.
I think Finn Balor is coming for that title too. I mean, I think it'd be a short run, I guess, for Samoa Joe, but I don't know. I think Finn Balor kind of embodies the NXT persona, so I'm interested to see how they move forward with the title.
Agree. And you know who else? We happened to see this week? Well, we saw our good friend Alex Riley. Unfortunately, oh damn it, they put a stupid ad in front of the video I want to play. Anyways, so Alex Riley did get released, unfortunately, but you know, it was a good showing versus Shinsuke.
Yeah, what a great thing to have on the way out, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you gotta go out, man. I mean, that's the way to do it. And he represented himself pretty strongly in his promo that he cut last week. And in the ring this week, I don't know. I feel bad for the guy. We obviously like him a lot on the show, but you know, he, like we said last time, he knew that he was putting himself out there when he left behind the table. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
And getting a match with Shinsuke, that's pretty solid.
Very solid.
So yes, he took care of Alex Riley. American Alpha, they pretty much are tag team wrestling right now. I mean, they are putting on clinics every single week, regardless of who they're up against. And here's something that I'm excited for. Next week, which is this week, we have Blake and Murphy. They had a really good segment backstage in Regal's office with Aries. I love Aries. He goes, you two show up, interrupt the conversation. The least you could do is bring Alexa Bliss, at least make it somewhat interesting. They're like, oh, she's here, and she shows up. He's like, oh, well, all right, fine. So this week...
See, I thought that was great. I thought that was a great promo for Austin, but I thought it didn't really behoove Blake and Murphy.
Oh, no, it didn't at all. It just made Aries just be Aries, which is great. And so this week we have Aries and a mystery partner versus Blake and Murphy. A lot of talk on the internet about who it might be.
I think we know who
Do
it is.
you think?
Willow?
No, we're not talking about Willow yet.
Could be him.
No, probably not.
I don't know, Johnny. There's a lot of them.
Oh, boy, that's true.
Never say never, Johnny. Never say never.
Yeah.
I won't ever say never. Ever.
Willow?
Jesus.
Wait, you just said it, though. That's kind of confusing.
I will say this. If we get a Dirty Heels reunion and they make T-shirts, you won't find a happier group of fellas than right here.
You and the mice?
Yep. Me and the mice. wearing our dirty heel shirts.
Yeah, because those mice, they assume dirty heels is like directly, they're like, yeah, humans in your dirty heels.
Yeah, because that's all they see they're trying to dodge our heels all the time. They don't get stepped on. Mm-hmm. That's why they're always scurrying.
Guys, you want to? This is totally off subject, but I was walking the dog the other day.
Uh-oh.
Euphemism.
Speaking of dirty heels, they're building a new building in my neighborhood, and there's a bit of a rat situation. Okay, I was walking the dog, and under my heel, as I went to step down, a frickin' rat went under my foot, and I felt its body underneath. Both me and the dog freaked the F out.
Was it a ring rat?
What? No.
It might have been a ring rat.
Well, I don't think they'd be running away from you, Dale.
Fair point, Johnny. Fair point.
Just saying. Well, I would say this. As someone who has owned pet rats, I have a soft spot for them.
Oh,
but at
you're
the same
one of
time,
those kids?
I'm not one of those kids. I've owned them as adults. They're good animals.
Oh, you're one of those grown-ups?
No, the two that... Shut up, man.
Talk about dirty heels, you nasty motherfucker.
Look. I was in a relationship. She said, I swear to God, they're good pets. We went to a breeder, and they were good. Hey, I don't care. Make fun of me. The one was a Dumbo. Shut up. The one was a Dumbo-eared rat. The other one was a tiny little white one. They got along great. They slept in a hammock together, and they were really fun animals.
In a hammock?
I'd get rats together again in a heartbeat. They're good. They're good pets. Lost them in the breakup.
Oh God, you must have been so traumatized.
It was a bummer. Considering I paid for them and the cage. Lost them in the breakup.
So that's $25 down the drain.
Actually, they were $25 each. They were, as a matter of fact.
I could get you a free one real quick if you need a replacement, man.
Well, I kind of like the whole idea of going to the breeder. I mean, you know, they're really cute.
Oh, I see. You only get those purebred rats.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna rescue a rat. I'll rescue a dog. I'll rescue a kitten. Not really going to rescue a rat.
I am so concerned that there are rat breeders in the world.
There sure are.
Oh,
they're adorable, too.
That sounds like a comic book villain.
Without any breeders, I thought we did not want more of them.
Well,
just some devious villain like, yes, you two will make the perfect rat.
I can't believe it took me 122 episodes to bring up the fact that I used to have pet rats. That's amazing.
I can't believe I didn't know that until the 122nd episode.
I could have swore I told you that.
That explains the stinky water.
Yeah, well.
Got rats in the pipes.
Amino acids, maca, combo. Making it happen.
Means rat droppings now.
Where do we go from here, guys? Anyways.
Oh, my hope.
It started with dirty heels. So I was excited.
Black Rain your favorite wrestler?
What? So, who?
Black Rain.
Yeah, sure.
In TNA because he had a rat?
Yeah.
It was Dustin Reynolds.
Oh my God, you're going the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He carried a rat in a little cage with him.
Look, and I'm sure it was an adorable rat.
I'm sure. I don't know if it was bred.
I've filmed with a rat. I filmed a Disney mockery video with a rat. And it was an adorable rat.
You get one rat story per episode.
All right, I'll save it for next week. Either way, Aries keeps replenishing his potassium with those bananas. Excited to see who his mystery partner is. And Alexa Bliss defeated Rachel Ellering, who she looked pretty good. She actually trained with Lance Storm. And Alexa, once again, she's kind of shining that star. The question is, how long will she be at NXT?
True. They're both
who would have predicted that Dana Brooke would leapfrog Alexa Bliss to the main roster? I never would have guessed.
Well, I think that happened because Emma was crushing it so hard. They're like, you know what? Let's bring up some muscle for Emma to even bring her to the next level. I think that's probably what the plan
Sure,
was.
no, I understand the logistics of it. I'm just saying, if you had asked me 6 months ago, pick one of these women to move up to the main roster, I would have definitely put Alexa 100 women's wrestlers before Dana Brooke.
Hundreds?
Okay, maybe there's not that many down there, but I'm just saying I would have put her at the top of the list and Dana would have been at the bottom.
Yeah, well, good point. With that said, NXT, some good stuff hopefully coming up, but Scotty.
Yeah.
How excited were you this past week? More Willows than you can count on Impact Wrestling.
There are certain rules with Willow that everyone's got to obey.
Yeah.
Never get them in direct sunlight.
Okay.
You never get them wet.
Got it.
That's huge. And never, ever feed them after midnight.
I think those are gremlins.
I think they're Willows, Johnny, and someone clearly got them wet because we saw 3 of them.
We saw 3 Willows all just attacking Jeff Hardy.
Who are these Willows?
I don't know. I figured maybe you did some research.
I have many a guess. It could be a lot of rats all in a costume, because despite all of Billy Corgan's rage, they could still just be rats in cages.
Are you saying it might be the band, the house band?
Those are mice, Johnny. There's a
right.
big difference. I wouldn't let a filthy rat band in here.
Look, okay.
That's called Smashing Pumpkins. First of all, they have a name.
Tonight. Tonight.
It could have been...
It's a Billy Corgan lyric right there for you.
So well written.
Yep.
I don't know. It could be anybody. At first, I just went, "Oh, it's the one. Oh, it's Matt Hardy."
It's probably the Disciples of Death. They're just getting hired everywhere.
They did have their hearts ripped out, so they're available.
See?
It could be 3 count. I don't know.
It might be 3 count.
But that was exciting. That I'm like, "Oh, it's just Matt Hardy. That's it. No big deal." And then we see 3 of them, and I go, "Oh, well, it's not Decay, because one of them would be gigantic." Like, I don't know.
I thought the first one was Matt, and then the 2 more showed up. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I like that it's not just, oh, well, there's 8 people on the Impact roster. It's only one of these people. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I really don't know. And I feel like it's going to be revealed in time. It can't just be, faceless Willows everywhere. But I like that Jeff was mad. He was super pissed off that he's saying, like, I'm Willow, that's me. Mm-hmm. It was cool. I was glad that it wasn't an extension.
Wait. Jeff Hardy is Willow?
You just broke the news to Dale.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this should be in the news segment, bro.
I'm sorry. And Dale, also.
That's me. Yes, hello. Hi.
Johnny breeds rats.
Way to deflect. I like it.
Drink it in, man.
Oh boy. EC3 defeats Rockstar Spud in a 6 sides of steel match. It was a match set up by Mike Bennett. Anytime you got EC3 and Rockstar Spud doing stuff, it's going to be worth watching, and it's going to be very entertaining.
He's got to fight his ghosts from the past? Is that how we refer to it? Or
more or less. EC3 wants a match with Mike Bennett, and Mike Bennett's like, well, you're going to have to go through a whole lot of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, it wasn't ghosts. It was just like basically dealing with his past.
Hurdles.
Hurdles,
if you will.
I'm wondering if we're going to get Norv Furnham in the mix.
I hope so.
His very first opponent.
Yeah.
That's Bound for Glory. It was.
Otherwise, it was his first. Well, actually, EC3 did refight Norv Furnham on the 2-year anniversary of his undefeated streak.
Yeah, and he fought him a couple times, along with the other guy whose name I can't remember, but it was like a 2-on-1 match. But
I want to see EC3 team up with Norv Furnham.
That'd be great. But yeah, I'm curious. If we're going to see all these previous opponents.
I don't know.
He's not going to fight Sting, that's for sure.
Probably not. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. But who's killing it?
I feel like EC3 and Rockstar Spud can do no wrong, though. Both those guys are at the top of their game, and I hope that they just continue to prosper.
And also, Decay keeps crushing it. Held on to those tag titles. They defeated Jeff Hardy and James Storm. Storm is kind of back to the beer sipping, cowboy creek swimming, whatever those lyrics are. He quickly jumped back into old school James Storm, which he kind of had to with the absence of
the guy bailing on him.
The exit of Rude.
The guy just going around the country watching shows from the crowd.
Well, his last name is Rude.
What a dirty heel, that dude.
Right. Oh, no.
Somebody else is crushing it right now in Impact, though.
I know you're going to say. Go for it.
Al Snow.
He sure is.
Man.
What I like about what Al Snow is doing, number one, he's completely flipping out. Kept trying to cheat, pulled out brass knucks, pulled out about 9 weapons out of his trunks. What I really like about this is it legitimizes Mahabali Shera. Like, up until this whole thing happened, he's the guy that would come out and do the dance that wasn't really a dance, and everyone's like, well, this guy looks like he should be awesome. Why is he being goofy? Now, Grado, you look at him, you're like, you better be goofy, otherwise you're not going to be on TV.
Yeah.
But what I like about this is it's showing an angry side of Shera to where, like, he wants to prove himself, and Grado actually helps him defeat Al Snow. So it really has legitimized Shera a little bit as more of a force to be reckoned with, and that's all due to Al Snow.
And Al Snow's promos, it's what's old is new again. Like, he's going old 80s style. He's yelling.
Yeah.
He's furious, and it's well thought out, and it's justified. I'm loving the comparisons of not politically speaking, taking a stance here or anything, but him talking about he will be the Donald Trump of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Making those comparisons, taking a hot topic right now,
crazy, but yeah,
making a hot topic into wrestling and justifying his actions and turning it into that world and just going off and being angry and justifying why he's in the business, and what it means to him continuously throughout the show. And I never got tired of it. I thought it was great. And Al Snow,
he went for it,
is really killing it right now. So if you haven't seen that, Fact of Life and Al Snow,
there's a
my
few
two favorite things going right now.
There's a few more Fact of Lives coming up. I have good authority that they are coming up soon.
Oh, so happy.
And Sienna Ruins, Gail Kim versus Jade, the newest addition to the Knockouts roster. Maria Kanellis is the puppeteer behind that. So who knows where that's going to lead to. Like I said, we would like to see the Knockouts roster, built up a little bit. It's struggling right now, but nonetheless, Gail Kim and Jade, they're still there at least. So,
did you get tickets to go to the Billy Corgan private concert there?
No, I didn't get him in the mail. Dale, did you get him in the mail?
I keep checking the mailbox, but nada so far.
Did your neighbor probably stole him out of the mail?
That son of a bee.
Are we going to the pumpkin patch?
Oh boy,
smashing pumpkins at the patch.
Oh, I wanted to ask that rat downstairs to go with me, so I'm going to throw Dale's keys down the elevator shaft so he can't go.
It's all part of my master plan. So anyways, Dale's keys unfortunately met grave consequences this week, which leads into the main event of Lucha Underground, graver consequences. Mil Muertes versus the Monster Matanza. Matanza buries Katrina and Mil and is the victor. But just, how many coffins got smashed and the masks were ripped.
Mil Muertes smashing through. He was like wearing a chalice and like smashed through the coffin to grab him by the neck and slam him into the coffin. That was one of the coolest moves that I've seen in forever.
That was so rad, and good on them for coming up with something that Undertaker, WWE never did. That was such a cool moment that can go in all their highlight reels for all of time.
Well, are we talking about the one that was off the apron on top of the?
No, Dale was saying the one where Mil
is in the actual coffin.
Oh, the hand through it. Oh, good God.
Yeah, from inside the coffin, bursting out like a horror movie and just grabbing.
Oh yeah,
grabbing and then slamming Matanza's face. Oh my God, that was so rad.
So good.
Because at one point, Mil also face planted Matanza on top of a coffin as well.
Yes,
and then he buried Katrina.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and Katrina disappearing. So she takes a chair to the back, and they throw her in the coffin, her and the stone, and then go to check it, and she has totally vanished. I love the sort of ethereal part of Katrina's character, where is she a ghost? Is she? We're not completely sure what's going on here with her character, and I love that aspect to it.
And Cuerno falling off the apron.
That looked ugly, didn't it?
Yeah, that Mil was holding him, and then he sort of once he was released.
Matanza, you mean? Because King Cuerno showed up at the end. He revealed his hood.
Right. But before that, during the match, Cuerno.
Dario was being held by
Cueto. Did I? Oh, jeez. My mistake. Yeah, Cueto had grabbed his leg and then bounced off the ring apron, and we didn't see him hit, but it didn't look like he had a lot of control going down, and the crowd went, "Oh!"
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was ugly, but I think the storytelling there, as per usual, was just on point, and I'm also very curious. So we've been told basically that the monster is like the ultimate evil, and there really isn't. Nobody has been able to stop Matanza so far, but now we've got this. Is he the mayor of the town, a mayor of Los Angeles, or something? I believe, and he's there's some kind of new element of extreme evil that is headed our way, and they smoke cigars. That is all we know for sure.
And they're friends with the Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah, which that's a good guy to be friends with. Really good guy to be friends with.
I must have missed an episode. Was Lorenzo Lamas on there before? Because the second I saw him, I went, Lorenzo Lamas, what happened?
That was his first appearance.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, speaking
of... No. He was on there once before. He kind of came in and laid the smackdown on the detective that female cop. That
Oh,
we've seen a couple of
yes.
times.
My fault.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of not knowing what's going on, King Cuerno reveals he takes his hood down, and all of a sudden he's there with all the dead people, I guess. And then it comes to this guy getting in the limo. He's like, here's $50K. He's like, Dario thinks his brother person, and all you see is a cigar get lit, which tells me Big Rick is back, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. And then he says...
This limo's too small.
Then he calls him my lord.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting real weird up in there.
For Lorenzo Lamas to have a lord? That's crazy.
Wait, the guy that got in the limo, that was Lorenzo Lamas with the beard?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even know. I thought he was in one of the other... You know what? Holy shoot.
Yeah. See, minds are being blown. Lorenzo Lamas, Lucha Underground, with a lord.
I knew he was in it, but I could have swore he was the Okay, wow.
See?
I didn't even recognize his face and the beard.
Yeah.
I think he might have had more facial hair this time than he did 3 or
That's-
4 weeks ago whenever we met him.
Yeah, that's what threw me off, I think. Wow. So,
Either way, great addition, and I always love a ominous somebody even worse is headed your way. I think that's a fun storytelling thing to do with. I don't know. I love the way that they cliffhanger a lot of their episodes. I think it's really fun and satisfying.
super cool. And of course, Joey Ryan steals literally just about a medallion.
Yeah, no one wants that medallion back.
No, that's probably baby oil all over it. Down his
Why is
trunks.
it all slick and weird feeling?
Why is it sticky?
I don't know. I don't know. And the Trios champs Puma, Azteca, and Mysterio take out Mundo, Havoc, and Ivelisse. So Havoc and Ivelisse got stuck with Mundo. Obviously problems there. And the Trios champs took them out as well. Pretty jam-packed episode.
And Via is getting all upset at the end.
Taya.
Yeah, Taya.
I love
Valkyrie.
her. She is so good.
Yeah, she got all mad and got in there and got in on the action.
Yeah. I wish we could have had her as a guest after Lucha Underground debuted, because when we had her on, our audience, not a lot of people knew about her. She was in Mexico, and we couldn't talk about Lucha Underground, even though it was going to happen. So we're going to have to get her back on the show, because she's got a really interesting story, and man, she's a cool chick. And she's a badass, man. She's
Total badass.
fitting right in with that whole roster.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, this show has really sold me on her. I mean, I liked her personality before, but this has really kind of made me aware of her work, and the fact that she goes in there with guys like Cage and just really brings it to them. I mean, that just really is awesome on her part.
no doubt about that. So yeah, they got a couple more tapings, I think, Dale, right now. They're in the middle of season 3. They're taping some stuff, I think, up through June, maybe?
Yeah, I think they're taping until the end of June, but I mean, we're still neck deep in season 2, so I don't think they've announced when season 3 will be debuting. It's kind of early for that, but hopefully we find out sooner than later. I mean, that's one thing about pre-recording stuff so early, is that you just really got to avoid spoilers on the internet.
True
But
that.
they do a good job in introducing these vignettes where we wouldn't have even known going to a taping that there's a Lord in Lorenzo Lamas.
There is a Lord of
Exactly. And, one thing they're doing with season 3 is they're recording a lot of the episodes out of order. So even if you go, you're not exactly sure where or when this particular thing that you're viewing is going to fall. So it still keeps it kind of fresh and new for people who went to the live taping.
And that's pretty cool.
They are crafty.
With that said, I think we should get to our Extreme Rules predicciones and moving on into the Kevin Owens interview. What y'all think?
Agreed.
All right, let's do it. Starting off in the pre-show, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin in a no DQ match. I imagine this wasn't really touched on Raw. I imagine it's going to be a heavy emphasis of SmackDown this week, I would think.
I would think so too. That makes a lot of sense.
So, Scotty, I'll
Yeah.
start with you.
Ziggler won the last one. It seems like this has got to sort of even itself out. I'm going to go Corbin.
I'm going to lead towards... It is a no DQ, so that... yeah, I'm going to say that leads towards Corbin as well. Dale?
Baron Corbin, 100%.
100% Baron Corbin.
100%.
Kalisto versus Rusev for that U.S. title. Rusev has been ruthless this week, just completely destroying Sin Cara on Monday Night Raw, while Kalisto had to watch in his match against Alberto Del Rio.
I'd really like to see something happen with Kalisto and Cena because that was where Cena had left off, endorsing Kalisto, and it'd be kind of cool to see for the U.S. title that Cena go up against him, and they have just unusual, crazy matches.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're not going to get that. So I'd like to see Kalisto retain for that, but I'm going to go with Rusev on this one.
Do you feel like, Dale, is it going to be a rivalry renewed from, was it not last year? Yeah, it was last year's WrestleMania. Rusev and Cena. WrestleMania 31.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's a little too fresh. I mean, I know that was a year and some change now, but I don't see Rusev and Cena. I think Cena to come back, he's not going to go into that route of the U.S. title again. I think we're seeing him right at the tippy top. People need to be reminded why they love Cena and the fact that he is a huge deal. So I don't really see that parlaying into this at all, but I would like to see, I always love a little guy hanging on to a title, especially with somebody like Rusev, who is completely ruthless and just has so much aggression. I would like to see Kalisto hang on to it.
So you're saying Kalisto.
Yep.
I just feel like it's granted Rusev destroyed Sin Cara and got the upper hand, but I still feel like all the signs point towards Rusev, which means I'm gonna go Kalisto.
You hate signs.
I do hate signs. Don't show me signs. I don't want to see them.
U-turn. U-turn.
Yeah, U-turn.
Quiet.
All right, Dean Ambrose taking on Chris Jericho. We already mentioned. Love what they're doing. You went from a straitjacket to now there's going to be an asylum match. They can do no wrong, in my opinion.
You stupid idiot.
Okay, then.
It would have been great had this been a Punjabi prison match, but I'll take an asylum match.
Yeah. Will they be similar? Maybe.
They could be. They've not defined the rules of this match, so I like it when they try something new, just for the train wreck value that could be there, or it could be an amazing match that then lives on.
What were the rules of a Punjabi prison match?
Oh man, I don't think we have enough time.
We probably don't.
We could dedicate a whole episode to Punjabi prison matches. Both of those are amazing.
Go ahead, try to enlighten us.
I gotta say the Punjabi prison, the way that it looked, like I don't know, was that bamboo or whatever it was that they used to create that? I thought it actually looked. It read really well on camera.
Get out of here! You don't want to fight, you fight!
See? Kali's all about it.
Oh, yeah, well, Kali's, that's about all he was about.
Yeah, well.
A Punjabi asylum match? Now that would be, I mean that's...
Kali was a police officer, so that would make sense.
That's 200,000 seats at WrestleMania. That's everybody.
So, Dale, what do y'all think? Dean Ambrose, Jericho.
I mean... Man, it's really a hard one to call. I'm going to go Ambrose, though. I feel like it's an asylum match. It's the first one ever at that. I feel like you got to give it to the guy who the gimmick is based off of.
See, I'm going Jericho because my thought was if the guy's crazy, he loses the asylum match. Like Foley always lost the super hardcore stuff, it felt like.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going. I'm going Jericho.
But the first one of its kind? I don't know.
I'm going to go Jericho as well, just so we see more gloating, and we see more insults, and we see more just cranky pops.
Quiet.
All right, I've said enough. New Day taking on those Vaudevillains for the tag titles. I believe it's a pretty straightforward match. I mean, this is an easy one for me. New Day retains. I think they're going to, hopefully, I'd like to see them set a record for the tag titles.
Yeah, New Day. New Day all day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't create a time machine and then lose the titles, I feel. But I do have to say, this feud has been nothing but good news for the Vaudevillains.
Yep.
This was the best way to introduce them to the Raw crowd, and they've really, gotten over as heels. So they win even if they don't win.
Why is it sticky?
Yeah, it was a sticky keyboard.
Sticky situation.
But I love me a time machine. I mean, who doesn't? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were in a time machine, what era would you like to go back, or what year in your life?
Oh boy. I think a gut reaction is I go back to 2000 and live out the last couple of Foley Prime matches.
There you go.
Yeah, those
Solid.
are good times.
Well, we should build a time machine.
All right. It's gonna be sticky.
By next, well, whatever. Why wouldn't it be?
Why is it sticky?
All right, Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and The Miz. This has all the signs of maybe stealing the damn show.
Yeah, everybody's been killing it. They've all been great. I mean, this is hard to call. This is the match where anything could happen and any news story, anything could go. But I'm gonna say Zayn takes it.
Wow. Okay. Delio.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Scott. This is Zayn's time. I mean, I could see Cesaro winning this. He is just firing on all cylinders. Owens has already had it a couple times, so I don't know that it really. I want to see Kevin Owens move up to the main title. Personally, I think it is well beyond time for him to do that. But I think this is Sami Zayn's time to really shine.
I mean, of all the titles, I believe this one, out of the 5 titles being defended, I think this definitely has the highest probability of changing hands. But I really am digging Miz with what he's got going on right now.
They're all great. They're all great. I'd love to see Zack Ryder still have that actual feud rematch, you know?
Yeah.
But it's any of these scenarios are pretty damn good.
I'm gonna say Miz. I'm saying Miz retains, but Rusev wins the U.S. title. There's my title change.
All right.
There you go. Natty versus Charlotte, women's championship submission match, but Ric Flair banned from ringside.
You were always home eating a ribeye.
He's not happy about it.
No, but he could be at home eating a ribeye now. So
true. Delicious.
Yeah. So does he lose? Really? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think Charlotte is going to hang on to this. I don't see this title changing hands until. I think they're protecting Sasha Banks. I mean, I don't know. She hasn't been on TV very much. I think they don't want her to lose. I personally think she should be where Emma is, or where Emma was, where she's on there and getting more TV time and just really handing a lot of the women their own ass. I think Sasha should be trying to fight towards getting back to this title because I don't see this going any other way besides Sasha and Charlotte at SummerSlam. But I think Charlotte will retain here.
Here's your ass, and here's your ass, and here's your ass.
Hello. Nice to see you again. Kid your ass.
Oh, sorry, that's my ass. You mishandled our asses.
Hell yeah.
There it is.
Stone cold.
Charlotte for sure, and lastly,
I'm going Natalia.
What?
I'm going with what I want, and I'm believing in Natalia. And I'm going to be rooting hard.
Okay.
She's been great.
A lot of matches to be invested in. Very good stuff. And Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles, Extreme Rules match for the World Heavyweight title, y'all. I think if we're not going to see a match between the Usos and the club, I think they're going to get involved. It's going to be messy, but at the same time, I don't see the title leaving Roman Reigns' grasp.
See, this is again. I'm gonna go AJ Styles, and I'm gonna be a fan. I'm gonna drop all like, oh, you know what'll possibly happen. Like,
right.
I'm letting it go. I did that for the last show, and I had the time of my life screaming at 4 a.m. watching that show.
Man,
and I'm doing it again.
So invested, Dale.
Listen, I wish I could do that, Scott, but I only see the business side of it, and I think that, we got to address the rumors of these nagging injuries for AJ. That is part of it, but ultimately Reigns' title is still pretty young, and there's guys like Cena and Rollins that are just hanging in the wind, just waiting to pop back up in the main event. I don't see them switching hands for this title at the moment.
What do you think?
I love AJ Styles. My heart wants AJ Styles, but this has been a great run for Reigns already. This feud has been nothing but good news for both these guys, but especially Reigns. I don't see it changing hands already.
So what do you think the odds are that AJ Styles wins?
But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we used to go one-on-one and then add 60.
Sorry, I had to set you up for that one. All right, there we go. So there's your Extreme Rules preview. Feel free to tweet us what your thoughts are or message us on Facebook, of course, facebook.com/WrestlingBuds or at WrestlingBuds on Twitter. And guys, go to our freaking iTunes page. We know we got a lot of you listening. Not enough of you are going there. So if you're listening to this show right now, go to the iTunes page. Create a new account. It takes 2 minutes to rate 5 stars and write a nice review. It really does help us. With that said,
helps more people find the show.
That's right. And we had a really good time with Kevin Owens.
Make us the shining star of the internet.
I'm not
the shining star of iTunes.
Not playing it again. So we had a good time with Kevin Owens, Radio Row, WrestleMania. The guy is just incredibly unique, just one of the most talented people in the business, and he's finally on that worldwide pedestal that he deserves to be on. So here's us.
Absolutely, and the interview started with us. I was wearing our Wrestling Compadres Slamcast T-shirt, where basically is a ripoff a rip-off of Kevin Owens' shirt, of which he ripped off himself. So he was already jovial from the top because of the T-shirt. So I think we broke him down pretty nicely. I was a little worried about it because, you know, he's an ornery kind of guy.
He's a bear. You don't poke that bear.
Don't want to poke that bear. But with that said, here's us and Kevin Owens.
We just give an applause before all of that.
Yeah.
A mild.
It has nothing to do with timing.
A 1 clap applause. Scott, do it again for me. There it is.
Appreciate that.
Welcome, everyone.
Hopefully it catches on, and on Sunday, 100,000 people just look at me and go, it'll be pretty good.
You're like, I made it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that 1 clap.
Incredibly polite audience here.
Clap mania.
Welcome to the show, man. Thanks a lot for...
Not call it that. Sounds really weird.
That sounds weird.
I'm terrible with hashtags.
Great start. Welcome to the show.
We're a bunch of pros here. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us at 4 in the morning. We appreciate you.
Yeah, why? Why so early? Because anyway.
We thought it was a joke, and they said, yeah, get here at 4:45. Okay.
Yep, that's the way to go.
But all the doors were locked, so we really did think it was an April Fool's for about
The doors
10
were
minutes.
locked for us too, actually. So me and Finn Balor had to walk around the building and find the door to open.
Oh, we saw you over there taking a picture with yourself.
Of course.
Yeah.
I did the prom pose where I stand behind it.
Oh, God.
That's good stuff.
I need a cardboard cutout just for that reason.
Yeah, and it's not even cardboard. It's like this. It's wood. They've really they've stepped it up this year.
Wow.
The only reason we got in is because the lady at the door liked his hair.
She's like, I like your hair. Come on.
She did, eh? Yeah. Everybody's got their own taste.
I know. It's the first time for everything.
It stands out. It stands out.
Man, I won't be ripping off your hair. How about that? Just your shirt. And maybe
I don't
your
think he'll be
cardboard
ripping off
cutout.
your hair either. I'm pretty sure.
As long as you don't rip off AJ Styles' haircut, I think you're fine.
Oh, snap.
Oh, man.
that
So
easier somewhere.
let's go over this past year.
Yeah.
I mean, because you've done everything, and then you come to WWE. This whole past year's got to be just completely insane.
It's been a pretty crazy whirlwind, honestly. I don't know, one thing after another. 2 years ago I was buying a ticket for WrestleMania, and then last year I was here for NXT, and now I'm on the show. So it's been a pretty crazy couple of years.
I was gonna say, have you been to? Because WrestleMania weekend now has become just an outlet for so many other. You probably worked shows.
Oh yeah, every year since 22, I'd say I was in the same city as WrestleMania, but for whatever reason I wouldn't go to WrestleMania. I had this weird. Last WrestleMania I went to 21 because that was the first weekend that I was, like WrestleMania was in Los Angeles. I was working for PWG, so it was the first weekend. I think that almost started the whole independent companies putting on shows like the same weekend as WrestleMania. Then 22 I think was in. Might have been Chicago. Was it Chicago or Detroit? Anyway, the point is, 22 was Chicago. So that year I didn't go to WrestleMania, and then the following year, and then I didn't go for years until 30 is the first one I went to because I wanted to see Daniel Bryan on that stage. But every year before, I kept thinking I don't want to go to WrestleMania because the next time I want to go to WrestleMania, I want it to be as a WWE employee.
I can understand.
I broke that rule for 30 because I couldn't miss Daniel Bryan in that environment, and also at that point I had been talking with WWE, so I almost felt like I think I'll be there soon. And then 31, I was, that whole promise I made myself came true. So, but like WrestleMania's. In a weird way, even though it's my first, it's given me an opportunity to showcase my wrestling skills and grow as a performer for years because of, like you said, everybody just, all these independent companies kind of piggyback on WrestleMania. So it's like been a weird part of my career for so long, even though it's my first one.
That must have been so bittersweet, though, all the years leading up to, say, last year when you were already an employee. You're working the shows on the weekend, but you're not going to WrestleMania. That must have been tough because at the end of every weekend, you're like, when is it going to...
It kind of wasn't because I would go back home and then watch it with my family, So I watch it with my wife and my kid, and it was like a cool little ritual. Like I would never stay because I really felt like one day I'd be there because I was supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was in an odd way. I guess it was motivation. So it wasn't really bittersweet. It was more of a. It's just something I knew I had to do. As a motivation tool, I guess. Yeah.
Fully confident in yourself, knowing that eventually you were supposed to be here, it was going to happen.
Yeah, and if I didn't, I guess there was always a bit of doubt that maybe I wouldn't get there. But I felt like if I don't, it's just because it's not supposed to happen.
But that doubt made you work harder, I would assume, right? That it gives you that feeling that it's like...
I wish I could say yes, but I always believed in myself. So I was just kind of, for the last 5 years especially, I'd say, I just decided to go down a path that I felt would help me get as much attention as I could. Because, you know, when you're an independent professional wrestler, you're responsible for your own, you know, every penny you make, you've made it happen yourself. You know, every show is a way to promote yourself. Every show is, you know, an opportunity to sell T-shirts, stuff like that. So a couple of years ago, you know, I had a kid, I had a wife, I had a job that I hated, and I wanted to stop working because I wanted to like dedicate my full attention to professional wrestling to hopefully make it to WWE, but also to make as much money as I could as a wrestler to support my family. So I decided to, I don't know how to describe it. I made a decision to kind of change. Not change who I was in the ring, but just turn everything up in a way. I don't know. And like, I think if you look at my stuff in Ring of Honor, for example, I think you can pinpoint a moment where I just kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
And that really helped. And I think without that moment, I wouldn't be here now. So
there's a term, you know, commonly used in improv. This is the day that. Like, is it a feeling of that when you went out there, when you stepped through the curtain, that this is the day that this is the most important day of wrestling, like turning it up to 10, turning it up to 11.
I remember I was in Ring of Honor and I lost a match that meant I was to go away from Ring of Honor. And at that point, I didn't know if I'd ever go back. And I think for about 2 weeks, I considered just not wrestling altogether. And I remember looking at the paper for like in the ads for work, like just a regular job. And then I realized like none of this is gonna work. I have to change. Like, I think that's the moment almost. It's not like a show. It was like when I was sitting at my kitchen table looking at the ads for work and being like, well, no, I have to go the other way. I have to dive head first into wrestling. And I had a PWG show in California. At that point, I hadn't wrestled in PWG in like a year almost. And I wrestled Tozawa. It was actually going to be, it was just announced in the Global Cruiserweight Series for WWE. I wrestled him. And that match made me realize, like, oh, I can definitely still do this. And it's almost, I guess, if you had to pinpoint a match where I think everything turned around, that'd be the one. But it was off of Ring of Honor, basically firing me at that point. And just, I don't know, that's where things kind of took a turn that I feel ultimately led me here.
You fast forward to here, we were at Comic-Con this past year. And, of course, Comic-Con's not necessarily wrestling. There's wrestling there. I can't tell you how many times, we lost count of how many Kevin Owens shirts we saw walking around Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I get a lot, I think a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people see a lot of themselves in me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, chiseled out of stone and tan and 6'5".
And you weren't hand-picked. You forced your way in. You're like, I'm too good to be passed up.
I guess. I mean, if you want to put it that way, I feel like, I've had people tell me that the fact that I'm here gives them hope for their own lives. And I'm never going to claim to be an inspiration for anybody because I find that very egotistical. But if I can help people in such a way, just like the one thing I always said, people ask me, like, I've had kids ask me, like, what's the best advice for I want to be a wrestler one day. As corny as it sounds like a John Cena t-shirt catchphrase, but I say, just don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. You know what I mean? Because I heard that my whole life, and it never mattered. And, here I am now.
That shirt will be out by next week.
Right.
And then he'll rip it off.
Well, I think you need to move on, so we can't thank you enough for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
And that was us with Kevin Owens at Radio Row, man. Just, he's had a hell of a story.
Yeah.
Living a hell of a life.
And went for it. It's really cool to hear about when he talks about that at one point he realized he had to crank it up even more. I'm sure he was in a place where he thought he was doing his best.
Yep.
And then realized I can do more.
Well, it's crazy. Like, I have friends who are actors or comedians, and they hit a point in their life where they have a kid, and all of a sudden you see them just start booking more work because they're like, you really, like, you think you're at a certain level and you're like, no, I need to step this up to an even higher level. And they do it. Like, one of my good buddies, he had a kid, wasn't exactly planned. He just started booking a ton of work. Once he had the kid, he's like, I don't know how it happened. Maybe it was just serendipitous, or maybe it was that he just stepped it up. So regardless, he's amazing. We got to close out the show.
You gonna have a kid, Johnny?
Definitely not.
You can step up, man.
I think that's what makes Kevin Owens so awesome. And I mean, besides all of his in-ring work and his mic work, I mean, he is so identifiable. Like, he is your friend. I mean, he is that guy that that really puts in the work. I already liked Kevin Owens, but after this interview, I became even more of a fan.
No doubt about that.
And a shout out to one of my friends who I got into watching wrestling. He hates the bad guys, loves the good guys. Like he's, right down the line. Like he loves Cena and hates Kevin Owens. Hates him.
Great.
So I can't wait for him to listen to this interview, Justin, and just see oh, he's more of a person now, but I hate him so much,
Thanks for listening, Justin. We got to close out the show. We are at Wrestling Buds on Twitter. We are Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. Also, a couple of shout-outs. Our buddy Tony Griggs actually came out to the Tacoma Comedy Club to see me over the weekend. And a couple of years ago, we helped raise money for him to get a new power wheelchair. He said he's actually moving to Portland. I think he already just moved. And he said the chair is actually finally approved, and the money that we helped raise through this show helped him get a brand new chair. So
he's doing a road trip on the chair?
Pretty
That is a power chair right there.
He's riding all the way to Portland.
Nice.
And another shout out, Andrea Beeler. She graduated from Maryville College just the other day. Yeah, and she's also started the AfterBuzz Buddies Twitter account. She's a big fan. She loves crying. Gets very emotional.
Andrea, I know it was clown college. You don't have to keep saying it wasn't. Yeah. I know it was clown college, and that's hard.
Congrats, girl. With that said, let's put ourselves over. Scotty, go.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. And on your mark, we have Billy Gunn this week. I know in the upcoming weeks we have Melina, Victoria, Al Snow, many more. So check that out, youtube.com/onyourmarkshow.
Dale.
Guys, you can always find me at The Walking Dale on Instagram and Twitter. I will be in London June 12th going to the Revolution Pro show. If anybody is going, please let me know. I would love to do a meet-up. Wrestling Memes is coming to the show with me. It's going to be a good old time.
Great.
But the more the merrier. So, let me know. Hit me up on socials.
We love that. I am at Jay Quasto. Some big shows coming up. Thursday, May 26th is the huge charity show at the Comedy Store with my foundation, the Regular Hero Foundation. All the money goes directly to kids and their families that we met at Children's Hospital who desperately need it. And also, we just added Bill Burr is going to be on the lineup.
Whoa.
Who's the best comic in the world. You're not going to see a better comic than Bill Burr. So please hit me up on social media. Thursday, May 26th. I'm actually going to be at the Palm Beach Improv in Florida from May 26th to May 29th. I won't be at the charity show. The rest of the foundation is taking care of it. My friend Rachel Feinstein, who I worked with this past weekend, she's headlining. So if you're anywhere near Florida, Palm Beach Improv, our buddy Johan Pena is going. He already bought his ticket.
Nice.
He's going to come out. So yeah, Palm Beach Improv, anywhere near there. We're there May 26th to 29th, all Memorial Day weekend.
You'll get a Bailey hug from Johnny, guaranteed.
Exactly. And of course, on the East Coast, June 15th, big show, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I'm headlining Arts Quest. Please come out if you're anywhere near there. I am also going to be in Pittsburgh on June 17th. I'm just trying to finalize all the details there. And I might be in New York a little bit, and I'll announce that as the time comes sooner. But other than that, jlocomedy.com. Guys, we cannot thank you enough for watching. Thank you for listening. And you know what? Keep chasing your dreams. We'll see y'all next week.